we go. We're going to be in the Gospel of John. We're going to be in the 19th chapter, and we're going to read one verse. Now, God ain't done this to me but a few times in my whole preaching career. I've been preaching and ministering since I was a teenager. One verse. I'm like, God, no, I got to have more than that. He said, get out of the way. One verse. We're going to start 19th chapter of the Gospel of John, and we're going to read the 30th verse. And when you finish, let me hear you say amen. The Gospel of John, chapter 19, verse 30 reads as follows. And if you want to stand, stand if you can. Let's give God some glory. We stand for the national anthem, which ain't got no power. We can stand for the Word of God that's got all power. Amen. And the Word of God reads as so. Verse 30. When he had received the drink, Jesus said, "It is finished." With that, he bowed his head and gave up his spirit. Father, the service now belongs to you. In Jesus' name, amen. You may be seated. We're going to use as a title of today's lesson, and I hope you got your pen and paper today. What did Jesus really do? I gotta let that sink in for a second. What did Jesus Christ, what did he really do for us? I want us to think about that for just a second. If a stranger showed up to you and said, look, I saw you with your church clothes on and stuff, are you just coming out of church? Yes, I sure am. I heard about this Jesus man. Can you tell me what he really did? What would your answer be? Would you be standing there like a deer with the headlights on it? Or would you come up with your quote-unquote church talk? Oh, he's my everything, and he's my Lord, and he's my Savior. Now, that's good. It is really good. But for somebody who don't know Jesus, you ain't said nothing yet. Are you with me? So here's the question again. What did Jesus really do? See, let me give you some examples of some things called sacrifice, so we can really get a good painting of what Jesus did. They had this thing called Chernobyl. Anybody ever heard of Chernobyl? Where they had that radioactive plant that went down, just tore up the land, killed the animals and all that. Did you know that Chernobyl would have been 100 times worse if it weren't for 3 men? There were 3 men who saw that there was a metal piece of core that was about to fall down, an iron piece of core about to fall down into the radioactive waters. And if they had fell down into the waters, it would have caused an explosion of steam so big that it would have killed people for hundreds of miles. These 3 men sacrificed their life, jumped into the pool, hit the drain plugs in the pool, and let all the water out. But there was so much radiation in the water that it killed them almost immediately. But if they hadn't have done it, hundreds of thousands of people would have died from Chernobyl. Gave their life, didn't it? Oh, man, that's powerful, isn't it? Ain't got nothing on what Jesus did. You know, they had a whole bunch of floods that happened, tsunamis that happened in Indonesia. And there's stories of men who actually took their children and put their children up in the highest places they could have put them in and went back down to save others. And all of a sudden, the water levels grabbed them, drowned them. But they put their life on the line. They could have easily went on up, saved themselves, couldn't they? But their thought process was what? Everybody else. So they went out and they saved these people, and in the process of going to get more, they lost their own life. Wow. Gave their life for somebody else. Ain't got nothing on Jesus. See, we got to really understand what Jesus really did. All right, you got your pen and paper, get ready. We got to go into this thing now. In order for us to understand what Jesus really did, we got to go all the way back to Genesis to understand why in the world, hey baby, I need you to time me, because I ain't gonna be able to do this one without time being timed. I know the Holy Ghost got me, but I need some help too. Give me that call. We got to go back to Genesis. In the book of Genesis, we have a story called the creation story. Anybody familiar with that? Adam and Eve. Have you ever asked yourself, why in the world did God take the time to create man? Anybody ask themselves that? See, if you've never asked yourself that question, You need to now question, do you really even know who Jesus is? Oh, I'm going to step on some toes today. I'm sorry. This has to happen. I may not ever be back here shallow. I can't leave you without understanding this. Are you with me? Amen. Have you ever asked yourself, why did God create man? Was that ever a question in your mind? Most of us as Christians, no, it wasn't. We just got on the bandwagon of creation and we rode that bandwagon right on down through Sunday school, all the way up to adulthood, and never asked ourselves, but why in the world did God create man? What was the situation? Why would he do that? He already had angels and all that. Why create man? If you've never thought of that, it's the reason why I'm repeating this stuff. If you've never thought of that, you need to ask yourself, do you even know why Jesus had to die? See, it all stemmed from an angelic situation. Don't miss this. See, if I walk into your house and kick your front door in and take all the money in your safe and I leave and you can't stop me, what did I just do? I robbed you. But you weren't powerful enough to stop me, or you would have stopped me, wouldn't you? So when I showed up, it was obvious that I had more power than who? Than you. And I took all the stuff that you had, and you were helpless to defend yourself against me. There was this angel called Lucifer, who thought that he could steal from God by taking the apple of God's eye, which was his angels, which were his worshipers. And he thought that he could snatch them and steal them from God, and God will be okay with it. Amen. I can stop the sermon right there. We got a problem, don't we? Now, how is it that Satan, who was one of the most powerful angels in heaven, how could he not understand that there's no way that I can outdo this God that I'm supposed to be serving? We got to go back to Judas's life. Remember, Judas walked with Jesus for 3 years and didn't know Jesus, didn't he? Lucifer hanging out in heaven with God and really don't know God yet. Because if he did, he would have realized that I'm wasting my time. So now let's fast forward. So now we got the angels, 1/3 of them, we got snatched out. Revelation 4 tells us a big part of that. It says that the master star, the big star, got cast down from heaven, took its tail, and wrapped it around 1/3 of the other stars, and snatched them down, got cast out to earth with it. 1/3. Now the Bible makes it clear from Genesis to Revelation that the number that God gave the angels does not exist. Let me let that sink in for a second. How many angels in heaven? God did not assign a number to it. He didn't reveal it to man. So that means on our mathematical table, we can't calculate. But Satan took 1/3 of that number. Now this is another sermon, but I have to hit this part right here. If you think that you and your little holiness, because you come to church, you read your little Bible at home and all that stuff, that you can beat the devil by yourself, I got another thing for you to understand. Because Satan took 1/3 of the angels who knew no sin nor temptation and convinced them that he had a better plan than God had. Did you catch that? You ain't seen God yet. The angels did. And still Satan's line was so powerful, they rolled with his plan. Who do you think you are? See, the title of our lesson is what? What did Jesus really do? I promise you, your life ain't going to be the same after this today. Just bear with me while I set this thing up. 1/3 of the angels failed. Are you with me? Satan now gets cast out of heaven, and the 1/3 with him. But you got to see this thing from the biblical position. Satan still thought he won. Because even though he's no longer in heaven, he thought he stole from God. Oh, somebody with me right now. I still won because I got 1/3 of his worshipers, and they down here with me. So what? I'm not in heaven anymore. All I want to do is be worshiped in the first place. I got 1/3 of your angelic hosts down here with me, and they are praising me as king. I'm in control. I won, God. Come on now, stay with me now. Don't you lose me. You lose me on this thing, it's going to hurt you at the end. So Satan is now crip walking. Y'all know the crip walk thing? Still a crip walk? Anybody know the crip walk? He's very excited now, because he's what? Thank you. He's the boss. He's the one. But he didn't know God, even though he was in his presence all this time. So in Genesis, we now have God saying, okay, you think you won. Let me show you what's going on. I'm going to take man and create a man, a being, that's lesser than you, that's weaker than you, that don't know what you know. And I'm going to put him in the midst of where you and this amount of angels we don't even have a number to even calculate. And I'm going to build him up right in your midst. Now you got to see Satan as they're watching. If you go in the book of Genesis, you're going to see that when God was creating the earth, it said that the angels were watching God and they were like this. What is going on? Because they ain't never seen that before. The angels were blown away when God was creating the world, plant life, when he was making Eve. The Bible says that they were like in awe. But you got to remember where he sent Satan and his angels and put Adam and Eve. He put Adam and Eve right in the midst of what Satan and the angelic host of his mess were. So now they're watching too. What in the world's going on here? You creating this little being right in the midst of me, and you putting so much detail and attention in it. Why are you doing this? In the world we live in, we got suicides going through the roof. In this world we live in, we got depression like the world has never seen before. We got anxieties like you've never seen in your life. We got folk who losing their mind every single solitary day. People looking in the mirror asking themselves, why in the world am I even here? What in the world is my purpose? They'll leave church, get in their car, cut on 104.7 and have the gospel music playing with tears in their eyes all the way home. Depressed as can be. Are you with me? Don't have a clue why my life is even my life. Why am I even on this planet Earth? But Satan is watching God put all his attention to this thing called man. Paying attention, seeing that there's something special here. Because he's put this man right in the midst of us, and he's put a whole lot of detail and attention into this whole thing he's created. So Satan looks at it, jumps on it in the book of Genesis, and guess what he does? He attacks Eve. Why did he even bother? You got to stay with me, because if you don't ask yourself these questions, you got to ask yourself, do I even know why I needed to be saved? Do you even understand why God would send his son Jesus? See, we have a tendency to just get on other folks' bandwagons, but never ask the question of where is this bandwagon going? Oh man, that should have hit somebody right there. See, you've been riding your grandma's talk for years, but did you ever ask yourself, why do I need to be saved? Did you ever ask yourself, why did it need to be Jesus that saved me? Why was I so bad that I couldn't get in your presence on my own, dear God? And why would you love me so much that you would send your only son to die on the cross for me? Do you ever ask yourself these things? If you don't ask those questions, you need to ask yourself, do I really know Jesus? You're about to get the answer to a whole lot of problems that you got in your life because you ain't asking the right questions about where you are. So Satan is seeing all this happen. He's seeing the whole creation. He's seeing man being built up, jumps right in, starts to attack Eve. He don't go to Adam. He go to Eve. He goes to the weaker vessel for a reason. Because he already knew that the more powerful vessel got the direct message from God. And he's already aware that when I bucked on God, oh, he cast me here, but I still had his 1/3. Let me do this a little different. I'm going to go to the weaker vessel this time, see if I can get her to fall. See, Satan is always trying to go after the apple of God's eye. Oh, that should have stopped somebody right there. He jumps on Eve, gets Eve to convince Adam to take, partake of this. Boom, Adam and Eve fell. Guess what Satan starts doing again? He's crip walking for the second time. I got 1/3 to fall, and then I showed back up, and I got his new creation to fall too. When is God going to learn that I'm an admirable, honorable foe against him? When is he going to learn that I got a little clout too? Are you with me? You better see this thing for what it is. You better understand what your enemy looks like so you can understand what your God looks like. And half the problems you're going to have, you're going to find and go when your identity gets in place. So here we got 3 things we can't miss about understanding what Jesus really did. The first thing is, why were we even created? Well, we were created because you ain't going to steal from God and think God going to sit back and let it be. So when you take something from God, you better understand that he allowed it to happen when it happened, first of all. You ain't show up in there more powerful than him, Satan, and take something from him. So now we got a new word to put on our bookshelf, don't we? That word is called choice. Can you put that on your bookshelf right quick? Put choice on your bookshelf. One of the most powerful words in the English dictionary is the word choice. Now, I know some of y'all looking at me like, this guy is crazy. That is a weak word. I beg to differ. That word is more life-changing than you will ever realize. Your whole eternal soul hangs on the balance of that word called choice. Are you with me? Are we together? So the first thing we had to understand was, why were we created? Satan stole the word from us. And God says, you know what? I'm going to show you, you ain't done nothing. So he puts man in the garden, makes him weaker than the angels, sets him up. Man does what? Falls. God spends the next 2,000 years writing a love letter to a fallen man, building a story called redemption. Oh, man, I think you're missing it again. 2,000 years God now spends, after the apple of his eye rejects him, to write a love letter to man called the Old Testament. Somebody's life should change right there. The whole Old Testament is nothing more than a love letter directly from God, telling you that I'm about to redeem you from the mistake that was made in the garden. Are you with me? The whole 39 books of the Old Testament are nothing more than God's love letter to man, showing you that even though you made a mistake, I'm going to show you the power of redemption. Well, why is redemption so important? Because love can never be perfected until love is first of all rejected. Oh man, that should have changed somebody's life. Don't miss this. My wife is sitting here. We've been married for 22, going on 23 years. I tell her I love her, she tells me she loves me. I tell her I love her, she tells me she loves me. Whoop-de-doo. We do that all, okay, that's great. That's fun. That's beautiful, right? Watch this. We ain't showed each other love until I do her wrong. Are you with me? And I break her heart, and I hurt her feelings. And she turns around and says, honey, I forgive you. Amen. She now has taken the definition of love that I had, and she redefined it. Because when you're loving someone when everything's okay, ain't no challenge there. It's when the chips start to fall and they reject you and they turn their back on you and you've done nothing wrong to them, and they turn around and say, look, I forgive you for what you've done against me, and I no longer hold it against you. They now redefine what you thought love was, and it changes the game. So now we got to go to the 39 books in the Old Testament, because all the 39 books are is God's love letter saying, you did me wrong, but I love you so much that I'm going to take 2,000 years Somebody can't write a 5-minute letter. He's going to take 2,000 years worth of time to write a love letter to you to let you know I'm setting you up for redemption like you've never understood in your life. Are you with me? So now we got two elements of what Jesus really did, but we still don't know what Jesus really did yet. Because we understand the creation, he was there to create us. Okay, we get that right. And we know why we were created. We were created because we're going to replace those angels Satan thought he stole. If you never understood the Lamb's Book of Life, y'all call me back here one Sunday and I'll do a sermon just on the Lamb's Book of Life. Because if you don't understand the Lamb's Book of Life as a Christian, you won't hate me for this, you'll be mad. Shame on you. I'm sorry, I had to say it like that. Because that Lamb's Book of Life is so absolutely precious to God, it should be even more precious to you. Because if your name ain't in it, what am I saying to teach? Can you help me, Doc? If your name ain't in it, it's over in it. Your name must be in this book. So if you don't understand the Lamb's Book of Life, you missed Genesis 1 when Adam and Eve fell, and why Satan stealing 1/3 was a big deal to God. That's all tied together. Well, see, Satan got us so caught up on YouTube. He got us caught up on TV, the wives of Hollywood. He got us the preachers of Hollywood. We caught up on all this craziness. And we ain't studying the Word at all. So the fundamentals of our Christian walk, half the Christians don't even know. So when the stranger shows up to you and asks you, who is this Jesus? Most of us will answer it like the world answers it. And we call ourselves saved. Oh man, that shouldn't be something I said, I'm leaving. You're hurting my feelings, Pastor, I'm leaving. But you need to hear the truth. I don't know if I'll ever be back here, Shiloh. I need you to hear this before I leave. My job is to proclamate and declarate the gospel unadulterated. And not be concerned if you like me or not. Are you with me? Creation, we understood that. Redemption, number 2. But now we need to really understand what Jesus did. So we got 39 books in the Old Testament. Because our scripture we read pretty much said, Jesus said, it is finished. Was finished. I know you heard the little different takes on Easter Sunday. You get a whole bunch of preachers coming here and they get 7 last words of Jesus. They preach the 7 last words and you leave saying, what they talking about? Are you with me? Oh yeah, I've been there. That's why I'm where I'm at right now. It used to make me angry as a kid to not understand what in the world they talking about. What do you mean it's finished? I need to understand that that's a word of finality. That means we're at the end of something. What are we at the end of? I didn't understand. It wasn't enough for me to say, I'm going to go talk to my high school friends and my college friends about Jesus, and I ain't even show up. Are you with me? Don't you ever portray yourself to be a mechanic because you got YouTube videos and start working on somebody else's car and they now dependent on you. Don't you ever do that. See, a whole lot of Christians, that's what we've done. We portraying ourselves to be so holy and so righteous and so knowledgeable about the Bible. Ain't got a clue the first without the video, meaning your preacher or your Sunday school teacher, that if you are left alone to do it without that access, crickets, you don't know what to do. And a whole lot of us fumble our way through our Christian walk, don't we? Oh, come on now, I ain't by myself. We fumble our way through our Christian walk. Don't have a clue half the time what we're doing. But grandma did it this way. I'm going to do it this way too. But grandma came from a generation, thank you, where they just had a form of godliness at times, but they knew who God was at times too, based on their situation. But you have to understand, as time passes, God reveals to us more about what's going on in His Word. Because if you look at the preachers of yesterday, they can preach the fire and brimstone gospel, but the expository preaching didn't exist in a lot of circles, did it? You didn't see that definitive breakdown. It was more of, I'll get you into heaven. And God, you know that talk, that preach, gets your emotions really excited, but ain't said nothing that's going to save your soul. You know that? See, God is going to raise up a new generation of preachers, and y'all better get ready for it. That's going to hit the pulpit on fire. They don't care about what you pay them. They don't care about what you call them. They don't care about what you do for them. They're going to show up at the pulpit, deliver the gospel like a hammer, and they're going to walk out the door. Are you with me? So you better get ready for it. Cody, better get ready for him. He knows what I'm talking about. You better get ready for him. 2,000 years, 39 books, one love letter, redemption plan. I'm going to show you what true love looks like. You thought you knew me, man, when I created paradise for you. You will really know how much I love you by the way I redeem you. See, it's not enough for God to just redeem man. It's the way he redeems man that changes the game. And if you don't understand this, get ready because it's going to change your life. You have to see that God's plan for redemption is God's plan for redemption. It ain't got nothing to do with man. He would get mad, Jesus would get so mad at the Pharisees and the chief priests and all of them because they were so locked in on tradition that they were missing what God was sending them to finalize his love message to man. See, the book of Malachi is the last book of the what? Of the Old Testament. And then he skips and jumps for a few thousand years, and all of a sudden Matthew shows up. Mark, Luke, John. And he goes right on through the New Testament. And now we got 27 books that's talking similar to the 39 books, but it's got a whole different spin on it with this love letter in the 27 books than we had in the 39. See, the 39 was setting us up, showing us, I'm going to redeem you. I love you. I'm going to redeem you. I'm going to love you. You fall, I'll show you how to get back up. Sacrifice, I'll show you how to get back up. Redemption, 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 redemption. And then all of a sudden, the New Testament. Now, Satan was present in the creation, and he did his job, didn't he? He jumped all over Adam and Eve, made them fall. If you have never read the 39 books of the Old Testament, Satan shows up in every single solitary book in the Old Testament. Oh, didn't he ever? Getting the Christians persecuted, killing them, burning the babies, and you name it. He was trying to do everything he could do to stop this love letter because he recognized the love letter. I gotta shut him down. I gotta get him to worshiping false gods. I gotta get him to doing idol worship. See, if you never remember this, heard the story when Moses had the children of Israel and they were all standing there and Moses was just like, you know what, I'm getting sick of y'all with this complaining and this whining. This is getting ridiculous. And you remember when God spoke to him? He said, Moses. That's God, Moses. He said, tell them that everybody who wants to serve me, tell them to come on this side. And he said, everybody who wants to go back to Egypt, tell them to go on over there. It took a few minutes for this to happen because there was millions of people. Did you know that? There was millions of people in the wilderness. This one was just 300. There's a whole lot of them. When they separated, God said, okay, I'll take care of them. Everybody who decided they wanted to go back, God opened the earth up. You remember the story? And swallowed them all right there. Now the question you got to ask yourself, why in the world would God do this to them? Because God is inside of his love letter of redemption. And they're already rejecting the redemption love letter. Hold on, that's the problem. I was rejected in creation. I was rejected in the heavens with the angelic. And now I'm building a love letter of redemption and you're rejecting me here too? I need to let you know how serious this is right now. See, a whole lot of us in that same boat right now. We should have been some of the ones who got swallowed up. But we're in the last 27 books where grace abounds. And you're going to see what Jesus really did on Calvary. When Jesus shows up, Satan now is like, I have to kill him. Because I couldn't stop this move in the Old Testament. I got to do it in the New. So from the time Jesus is born, the hounds are on his trail. Are you with me? The devil already knows something's changing. Oh, God had angels at first. Then he created this thing called man. I jumped in. I got them too. Wait a minute. Jesus. I know this one. Something's changing. I got to kill him now. So from the time Jesus is born, Satan is on his trail, trying to destroy it. But Jesus ends up making it all the way to Calvary. Now here's where the story gets good. Here's where your life is going to change forever. You ready? Amen. Jesus starts out as your creator. You with me? But that title now is gone. He's still the creator, but you don't have to call him that no more because he's got a better title. Then he became your redeemer. That title don't need to be on him no more. Even though he's still your redeemer, he's got a better title. When Jesus hits Calvary's cross, he hangs there. Are you with me? For 3 days. He's not alone. Yeah, he had 2 guys. No, ain't the 2 guys. Jesus is hanging on Calvary's cross with every sin that man had ever did in the history of creation was hanging on him as well. But that's not where it stopped. He actually had every sin, and this is where the game changed, that you would ever do in your future date. I should have got amen on that one. Every sin that you would ever commit in your future life is hanging on Calvary's cross right there with him. Are you with me yet? And when the 3rd day came and Jesus died, they put him in a tomb, didn't they? But his title still hadn't changed yet. He was still in the Redeemer position until he rose from the grave. The minute Jesus rose from the grave, he was no longer your creator. He was no longer your redeemer. He now became your savior. And let me explain to you what that means. And I'm going to sit on down. There's a bottle called life that we all live in. In the creation times, the bottle had no cap. So man was able to climb out the bottle and get away from God. Come on. Are you with me? Then all of a sudden we get to the Redeemer stage. We still got the bottle of life. And man is still in the bottle. But even in the redemption stage, man was able to get out the bottle or be shaken out of the bottle with rules and regulations and the law. Don't miss that. He was able to be full. He could get out the bottle. But when Jesus rose on the 3rd day, that same bottle that you were able to get out of in the creation time, the redemption time, when you hit the salvation time, is when Jesus put a cap on the bottle and sealed it forever. So no matter what you go through in life, no matter how the bottle gets shaken, you will not come out the bottle. See, when Jesus says it's finished, he's letting us all know that the seal has been put on your soul forever. There is nothing the enemy can do now to take you out of the hand of Almighty God. No matter how hard he tries. You can't be shaken out of that bottle. The winds and the waves can come, can't push you out of that bottle. You can get divorces and marital issues and your finances messed all up, and you can backslide like Michael Jackson and still not come out that bottle called salvation. But we now have to go to the bookshelf to make sure we understand, how do I get sealed? And every one of y'all told me you put the word choice on the bookshelf. Pull it out now. Because the word choice is the word that changes the game. Because without the word choice, love can't be actualized. Y'all got 2 minutes for me to break that down? What that simply means is without choice, you're no different than a robot standing in a room giving programs to do something. It's doing the only thing it's able to do. Because the program has been put into it to do this. See, if God had have never told Adam and Eve some instructions in the garden, they would have never had the option of choice. Don't miss that. But because he says, of everything in the garden you can partake of, other than that tree, everything else is yours. Satan attacks the very thing that caused the word choice to show up. Because when a person chooses something, it's something they do mentally. But when they have made a decision, that's what they do physically. See, the word choice is always the introduction to the action. Don't you miss that. See, I think you're missing it. I think you're missing it. If you don't understand why you're making the choice, your decision will always be vague. That's why a whole lot of folk gonna stand before God saying, why you turning us away? Didn't we do all this for you? We worked for you. We cast out demons for you. You ain't know me, nor did I know you. Because you made a choice to go to church doesn't mean you made a decision to serve God. I hope that was good. Just because you made a choice to show up here on Sunday, don't mean you made a decision to serve God on Monday. Oh, that should have hit somebody. See, a whole lot of us don't understand what Jesus really did on Calvary. God even covered us from that. That when we live a life contrary to his word, but we repent of it, and we say, God, I'm godly sorry for this thing. He said, go ahead on. Jump in the bottle. Because it's now sealed forever. But God, I ain't perfect. Oh, that's why I have this thing called sanctification. It's the process of making you whole. I ain't saying this because you're in the bottle, you're going to be perfect. I'm saying that my love is now perfect because you're in the bottle. Man, did you miss that? His love is perfect because you're in the bottle. Are you with me? So that should kill any judgmental spirit in shallow Baptist church. Should die right there. You ain't nobody because you think you somebody until you understand who God has called you to be. If you miss that right there, you're in trouble. You can't love your neighbor. Are you with me? Until you understand the love God has already given to you. And without understanding the process of creation and why we created, the redemption and why we need to be redeemed, and salvation of understanding that it's a sealed deal, you can't say that you understand the love of God until you understand that. Because that's what your salvation entails. Are you with me? There's so much Satan wants to do to destroy us, so that this 1 to 2 teeny tiny verse here that says, it is finished, won't ever mean anything to us. Are you with me? It is finished should run through the Christian's mind throughout the week. And you should be telling God, thank you for it being finished. Because you see how everything in life fails you every day, don't it? Your money will fail you, your friends will fail you, your family will fail you, but God will never fail you. You know why? Because it's finished. So that means you can't sin your way to a place where God won't love you. Did you know that? Let me help you. We'll close out. When you choose Jesus, this is pretty much the altar call happening right now. You must understand what you're choosing. When you choose Jesus, you're not choosing church attendance. Don't miss that. When you choose Jesus, you ain't choosing Sunday school. When you choose Jesus, you're choosing to have your name written in the Lamb's Book of Life, because there's a spiritual battle that started way before you even got to the planet Earth. And that spiritual battle started when Lucifer took 1/3 of those angels from God. And God turns around and says, you ain't done nothing but a thing. I'm going to put man here, make him weaker than you. I'm going to set him up in your camp. You're going to come at him and say, and you're going to get a little team, you're going to win that little war real quick. You're going to win that little battle. Man going to fall. But I need him to fall. Because he can't appreciate my love until he's rejected me and seen me come at him with the same love that I had before he disobeyed me. See, he can't really appreciate me, Satan. This is why Satan hates us so much. Because he rejected God. But he can't get the redemptive love of God. He sees it, but can't get it. But he can't come against God no more. So what he does is go against the apple of God's eyes. You see? And he comes at you with everything he can because you got the redemptive plan on your life. And you're getting to see the true love of God all over you. Are you with me? Hold on to his unchanging hands, because his hands never change. Because once the bottle's sealed, guess what? It's finished. It's done. Now, if you were here today and you're dealing with depression, that shouldn't be on you right now. Because you are the apple of God's eye. That he turned the world upside down on his head for you. You are the ambassadors to the devil that God never fails. And you'll never steal anything from me. So every time a saved child of God walks out in this world, you're representing to the devil a soul that just got positioned to replace what you thought you stole. You see why Satan is so mad now? Every time he sees you, he's hot because you represent a soul he stole. Man, I ain't got no victory. Death ain't got no sting. Is it starting to make sense to you now? See how all that stuff, that church record, is now making sense, don't it? If you don't know Jesus, that's all I'm saying. If you don't know Jesus in the pardon of your sins, your bottle doesn't have a cap on it. And I promise you, life can be turbulent, and it'll shake you right out the bottle that you think you're secure in. If you are a backslider, but you're still unrepentant, come on. I don't care what it's going to look like for you to come down here. Do you know that hell is forever? That means there's no clocks in hell. Oh, man, I think you missed that. There ain't no clocks in hell because there ain't no timetable. Everything spiritual is outside of the space of time. So your physical body, when it passes away, the only thing that exists is your spirit outside what you're familiar with as time. So wherever you choose today, if you die today, I just had 9 people that we knew of die over the last week and a half. 9 souls. Did you see? Anybody else see in my hands? 9 souls died unexpectedly. 2 were murdered. This is right here, down the road from y'all, in Bloomberg County. 2 were murdered, and the rest were in accidents. 4 of them were going to church. Car got hit, total kid all over in the car. Do you think in their mind that they knew this was going to happen? Me and my wife went to the funerals. I'm funeraled out. I love funerals, but right now I'm funeraled out. You with me? Folk don't know when your last day is coming. So you better stop playing with God. Ask him to seal your bottle today. Let us pray. Father God, we thank you for this service. If there's a soul in this building that don't know you and the pardon of their sins, I pray that this word, dear God, will motivate them to come on down and give their life to you. If there's a backslider in here who knows that they're living wrong and they have a heart's desire to do the right thing for you, dear Lord, have them come on down, dear God, and we'll pray over them. We'll pray that you put the hedge around their life as well so that they can have an opportunity to serve you. Because we know the enemy likes to choke us out a whole lot so that we can't get our mind